Hi guys, welcome back. I'm guessing you missed me, maybe. I missed you guys. But here I have two of your amazing female housemates. You guys have been waiting to hear from them, and finally Bet Nigeria is bringing them to you. Venita and Kaffy.
Hey.
How are you guys?
Really good.
First question, how are you finding your new lives?
Oof, very, very good. Like, it's been very crazy coming out of the house. It's just been, this is still my first week, so I'm still getting used to everything, but the love has been amazing. Like, so many people have been showing support. So many people have just been like, hi Kaffy, and I'm just like, wow. So I really, really appreciate it. It's good.
Okay, what about you?
My leg has not touched ground. I can't lie you. I spent 3 nights at home. So yeah, I do miss my bed, but like Kaffy said, it's a whirlwind. And for me personally, I'm just really humbled.
Okay.
You know, I doubted myself a lot during my experience. So to come out and feel like I connected with anyone is amazing. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, people loved you. Like, people loved you. You were like the happy chap in the house.
Aww.
There was she was hardly ever sad. Like, every time I tune in, she's dancing or she's jumping and she's just happy. And you, on the other hand, you had your ups and downs. But like, when you got into the house, I mean, did you have a strategy? I mean, we'll all say we didn't have a strategy.
Of course.
But for me particularly, I think mine was just to win head of house as much as I could.
Okay.
So will you say you had a strategy?
I would say that I did not have one. If anyone who thought that I had one, then I would suck very much. And I'm an articulate individual. I hadn't really studied what was going on before the house, and I wouldn't change it because when I went in, I was purely myself, unadulterated and unaffected by any external or internal factors. You know, I had a ball, I had a blast, but the journey that I was on was very personal for me.
What about you? Any strategies?
I was the same as you. My thing was, let me come in head of house.
Were you ever head of house?
Once, actually.
Oh, I remember that time.
How was the tenure?
She was good, but the only thing I would say about Kaffy's tenure is that I felt like she was doing a lot of work in the morning that she didn't need to do.
Okay.
My thing was
and I
servant
kept
leadership.
I kept saying to her, you know, you're stressing me watching you what you're doing. I knew what she was doing and I knew it was coming from a good place, but like she took on a lot of domestic things that I feel should have been maybe more
My
shared.
thing was, you know, to lead from example and to lead from the back. You know, I think sometimes when people are leaders, it's all like, oh, look at me, I'm the leader. But my thing was model servant leadership. Like, actually, if there's dishes in the sink, let me just wash it. And actually, I realized that we always had an issue with plates in the sink. But then when I would wash it in the morning, like if there were only a few there, then people wouldn't add to an empty sink. Like, but it was when the sink was full, people were like, one more plate.
Well, in the house, really, people will do
one
whatever.
More plate. You know?
This is what I was trying
nobody's actually accountable to anything.
Right.
That was it's always a pain. Like, you can't report anybody. Nobody can get fined. Nobody can get beaten. So people will just do whatever. Yeah, in your face. What are you gonna do about it? So who did you bond with the most in the house?
For me, obviously, Godoni.
Okay.
Then
I was gonna say beyond besides Godoni.
Tacha, Cindy. Those are the main people I would say.
Tacha's own was surprising because it was more like last 2 weeks before your exit.
That's what people have been saying. Yeah. But me and Tacha were really cool from the beginning. So I remember when I was first up for eviction, she's the one who did my makeup for me. Like, when I got into the house, I saw lots of people they knew who she was, and I didn't know anything about Tacha, but everybody was like, oh, that's Tacha, that's Tacha, that's Tacha. And I was like, I don't know who this girl is, but I just saw that people were leaving her alone. Like, she was quite isolated from the rest of the group. And my thing, if I see somebody by themselves...
Do you think people left her alone or she chose to be alone?
It's probably a bit of both. Probably, I feel like Tacha was very... she knows what she wants. Like, she's like, this is what I'm here for. But when I see somebody on their own, I'm like, hey, what's up? And I go up. I don't like to see people by themselves. Or I'm just like, hey, what's up? Are you good? And that's where our relationship started from the first week. But obviously, when I was with Godoni, like, everything... We were still cool, but I was with Godoni more than I was with her. So then when he left, people saw me and Tacha together more because obviously that space.
All right. Who is your G? It was painful. Like, I was routing for my man on Mashallah. Like, but, you know, Fraud got the attention initially.
Oh my God.
But who was your person in the house?
I didn't have a person in the house. I didn't have, like, the person, if anything, would be Cindy. Because she was right next to me. I didn't have whatever happened between anybody was very brief and it never had any layers past the surface. So no.
So you think you didn't really let people know you?
Oh no, I had people that got to know me. Absolutely, definitely. There's Shay, Cindy, Elo, Mike, Jackie, NK, Joe. Like I have a lot of people who accepted me how I was and understood and appreciated me just like that.
How did you feel about Elo swapped when he swapped and saved you?
Man, that thing was it was a shock. My heart left my
shook.
body. No, I was surprised because I really didn't expect it. He has a closer relationship with Diane, and usually, you know, there's when it comes to like a guy and a girl who possibly we don't know what may be happening between them. If I'm a friend, you know, like Kaffy said, you will spend less time with that person will spend more time with someone else. So I felt like that would be his choice. So it surprised me very much. Yeah, it did.
Okay. All right, Kaffy, to you. I'm talking about relationships now in the house. I'm sorry to take you there. If you're comfortable talking about it, fine. Gidoni, what's the status of things? Everybody's curious.
Oh, that's interesting. We've spoken since I've left. You've seen each other.
Oh, you've seen each other?
Yep.
Okay.
And it's cool. I mean, I just came up to
Is it where you left it? Is the relationship where you left it?
For me, this is my first week out. So this is all like new territory. I'm trying to find my feet and everything.
Okay.
And so I'm just basically, I've said like, I'm not reading anything. I'm not watching anything. Because people have said, oh, this happened. I'm like, closing my ears. Let me do my interviews. Let me speak to everybody. And then afterwards I will go and see what I need to see.
And concerning your job also, actually I got a call from the BBC radio.
Oh, really?
They wanted me to make some comments about Big Brother and then pertaining to you particularly, but I refused to.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, more like I'm not going to talk. Let her come out and speak her own truth. Do you understand?
That.
But what's the situation with your job?
Again, I haven't looked into that yet. I wanted this week to be over. And then.
But did you resign?
No, I didn't. No, I followed all due. If you saw me in the house, I was very much a by the book girl. I'm like, Vicky said this, Vicky said that. Like, give me the rules, put them down, I'll do them. So yeah, I followed all procedure before I left. Yeah.
So before we take a break, who do you think is going to win this year?
I don't know.
No, in your opinion, who would you love to win?
I did here with Tuna, so I don't know.
Look at me. Who would you hope would win?
Who underdog? I'm gonna root for the newbies. Cindy and Ella, I would love to take it right down to the final week. I absolutely would love that. But in terms of people who actually, I feel have provided enough of themselves, have given that pound of flesh
to win the money.
I would say Mashallah and Fraud also deserve to be in that final week.
Okay.
But Tasha also has a very big fan base, so you know there's a good chance. I don't know. I don't know.
And what was the thing with Fraud? I mean, it was more like few weeks into it and then everybody saw a side of you and all of a sudden you got emotional. And I know the camera doesn't show everything, but like were there things you think we're not seeing that because you were emotional sometimes,
of course,
and like we didn't quite understand
there's a lot of things that you don't see.
Yeah, I know that for sure.
From first-hand experience, there's a lot of things that we don't see, but I just feel like how can I explain it? I was, you know, naturally you're getting to know somebody, you see them a certain way and vice versa, and then we both kind of like disappointed each other in the way we dealt with the situation, but we moved on from it. And I think that we have like an underlying current of respect. There is an underlying connection because we're both emotional people. And we like to take things for face value, you know. But
were you attracted to anybody else in the house?
No, I wasn't attracted to anybody in the house. Like you said, I was already exposed in the industry, and generally in the industry, especially in our country, we are beautiful people. So I meet and work with beautiful people. You know that you have to have more layers than just the surface. So
I get it.
For me, my attraction comes like much deeper than that.
Yeah. What about you? Who are you vouching for? Who are you pushing
if I had
to win?
pick a top 5.
No, not winner first.
Okay, again, I think
one person.
I think Tacha, like if we're basing it on votes, like she's just been the most consistent, like lots of fan base, lots of votes.
Okay.
I feel like every single time she's been up, she's been safe. Like,
Well, emotionally, who would you like to win?
Again, I want to say my top 5 because these are my people. Right. Definitely. Obviously, I've already said Tacha, but Mike, I think. Omashola, Fraud. Who else? And I'm thinking, who else is in the house? But Cindy as well. Cindy's my girl. Like, but I already feel like, yeah, she came in. I don't know how big her fan base is yet. I haven't looked at how big it is now. But
don't worry, someone got evicted because of Cindy.
Yeah, I know. I heard. I really heard. I connected with her. I connected with her because I really feel like she is an underdog. Like people look at her in the house. People just look at her like, yes, Cindy, she's cool. But that girl is strong. That girl is fierce, and she's a fighter, and she likes to win. So
nice.
Cindy might do it.
You mentioned Mike and Ike, and it occurred to me in the house, some of the people that have come out of the house, some of the fans, and some of the people in the house term you as a two-faced person. Some of them see that. Why do you think that happened? Because it's more like the argument is, because I took time to read some of the stuff. It's more like, oh, okay, you're in something with somebody, but when like stuff hits the fan, you kind of back out like, okay, I wasn't there, or that kind of thing. And you get, and sometime you and Mike kind of had a conversation where he felt like you threw him under the bus. So what was going on in all of those?
So I think the whole two-faced thing started with the car.
Okay.
When I won the car, everybody was like, oh, but you said you were going to drop the ribbon. And the whole conversation with the ribbon was that Gidoni was saying something, and I was like, everybody, shh, let's listen to what Gidoni's saying. Let's listen to him. And then he said about the charity idea, and I was like, listen, I'm up to that. Let's do this. Like, that sounds like a really good idea. But if we're going to make a decision, it has to be a group decision. So if everybody agrees, I'm down. So when we had to show a show of hands now to say who would be up for doing that, I was like, hey, yeah, me as well. But then not everybody agreed. So as soon as I saw not everybody agreed, as far as I was concerned, that's not a group decision. And I think a few people had said that even if certain housemates didn't agree, that they would take the housemates to be their charity. And for me, I'm like, to me, that doesn't make sense. Like, we're all in here. No housemate is charity. If I'm going to do something for charity, it's for people in need, like people in real charity. Okay. So I was like, I'm not going to let go of this thing. Like, it happened very suddenly. We were still deliberating this, still talking about it. Then out of nowhere, Frod was like, charity. And then it was like, charity. Everybody just started dropping their ribbon. So I held onto the ribbon and
won the car.
I won the car, baby. So I think from there, other things, I'm a very expressive person. I would just talk to people. And I think I was the most underprepared person in the house because I hadn't watched anything to do with BB Niger. Never watched it, never seen it before. I tried to research it when I was in London before I came, and it was constantly saying this video is not available in your region on YouTube, on African Magic. I was just like, I need to see this. So I resorted to like watching other people's reviews of it on YouTube. So I still didn't really understand what I was coming into. I came into the house like, hi guys, hi everyone.
Trust me, you had the best advantage. It's always best to come not knowing.
Yeah, but I felt like I came in like everybody was my friend, and I really believed everybody was my friend. So if something would happen, I would just talk to them like, hey, this is what's happening. This is what's going on. But I realized not everybody felt the same way about me, and I realized that quite late in the game.
Okay.
So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a short break now, but we'll be right back. Stay tuned.